some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur. Also, you can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27, or shall I say X. All right, hello, most hated bronze flat power god, Samantha. The lovely T is here. We the people. Bookhorse DC, Claudette, Shoshana. All right, Pearly, let's get into it. Songwriter Sunny, Samantha. Okay, so shout out to all of my loyal royals. I see you, James. Okay, and my moderators putting in work. 504 Nola in the house. All right, let's get into it. Now, before we get started, hey, Auntie Leah, before we get started, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, y'all, I am really tired this morning. I was up late last night, but we're going to get through it. Okay, so that all being said, shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get into it because your boy Diddy has a whole nother lawsuit, and it's from another male accuser. Okay, Sean Diddy Combs faces new assault lawsuit from aspiring male artist. And now this lawsuit alleges that he drugged this person and then assaulted them. And this was in 2015. So let's talk about it. Sean Diddy Combs is facing new legal trouble as an aspiring male musician identified only as John Doe has accused the hip hop mogul of drugging and assaulting him at a 2015 after party in Los Angeles. Now, the lawsuit, which was filed on Monday in New York County Supreme Court by attorney Tony Buzbee, adds to the growing list of allegations against Mr. Combs, who is currently awaiting trial on separate trafficking and racketeering charges. Now, Joe, who was 23 at the time, claims that Diddy lured him with promises of a Bad Boy Records deal and studio time before allegedly assaulting him at QC's 2020, which is a nightclub in Montebello, California. So according to the lawsuit, after Doe performed at the venue, he attended an after party filled with celebrities and illegal substances. A Combs associate allegedly told Doe that Diddy had been impressed with his performance and that a record deal was on the table. I mean, do you all hear this? Diddy is so low down and dirty, just toying with people's emotions, playing with their minds. Just so callous in his attack. Now, mind you, if this is true, and it likely is, but let's continue. Now, at the party, Joe was allegedly says at the after party, Doe was allegedly served an alcoholic drink containing Ciroc vodka, which was sent to him by Diddy himself. Now, soon after consuming the beverage, Joe says he felt lightheaded, then lost consciousness, and woke up to find his pants had been removed. The lawsuit alleges that Diddy was groping him and had performed fellatio on him. Dirty devil. Now, when Doe tried to resist, Diddy allegedly threatened to ruin his music career and pressured him to have relations with an unknown woman. Doe reportedly pretended to comply, then escaped the venue instead. The lawsuit states that Doe feared retaliation and being blackballed from the music industry, which kept him from reporting the alleged incident earlier. Now, the lawsuit also claims the incident severely impacted his mental health, causing him to abandon his music career for years. I mean, you know what? I can absolutely fathom that. Just imagine you're somebody out here, you're trying to become a star. You're out here getting performances or whatever, getting a few little gigs, not really know, but trying to get out there. And then you have an encounter with Diddy and he does something like that to you. The first thing I'd be thinking, is this what it takes to get a record deal? Is this what everybody's into? So I could clearly see why he didn't want to pursue his career afterwards. Diddy is low down and clearly nefarious if all these allegations are true. And in fact, even if only a portion of them are true, he's still nefarious, But let's continue. So the lawsuit states that Doe feared retaliation and being blackballed from the industry. It impacted his mental health, causing him to abandon his music career for years, saying this assault greatly affected Doe's passion for music, leading him to abandon his aspirations. This is what it says in the suit. Now, in a statement to USA Today, Diddy's attorneys denied the allegations again, stating Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in facts. The same old spiel that they always say, that Mr. Combs has never trafficked or assaulted anyone, man or male or female, child or whatever. Any of those things he hasn't done, so they say. Now, several of Diddy's companies, including Bad Boy Records and Daddy's House Recordings, are also named in the lawsuit, accused of failing to prevent sexual misconduct within the organization. With growing accusations and high-profile legal battles, the once celebrated music mogul faces a tarnished legacy and uncertain future. Well, he sure does. This is all nefarious. And I believe Diddy did it too. I believe Diddy did it. I believe that he used his power, his prestige, and his money and all of that. And of course, the pull that he had in the music industry to fool people and lure them in like he's going to give them a record deal. It's just real sad. I can only imagine how many broken and shattered dreams came across the path of Diddy. Oh, so crazy. But anyway, I digress. Now let's talk about Trump and his tariffs. Because it is not looking good, people. Don't forget, you heard it here first. I told you guys right after the election. Now they're saying Trump's tariffs threaten job losses, according to experts, and these may be the hardest hit. So let's get into it. What are y'all going to do with y'all's president? How many of y'all voted for Trump? One's in the chat for all those who voted for Trump. Yeah, I bet nobody puts a one in that chat, right? I bet none of y'all want to own up to it now. This is all so crazy. Please pay attention. Trump's dragging America straight to hell. So let's get into it.
I want to get more on how American consumers could be impacted by the new tariffs on nearly all imports from Mexico, Canada, and China, and how the market is reacting. Elizabeth Schulze is on Wall Street for us this morning. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Robin. The stock market is opening sharply lower this morning as investors and companies come to reality with these sweeping tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. Their scope is massive. President Trump imposed tariffs worth about $400 billion in his first term. This would hit $1.3 trillion in goods, and consumers could pay the price. This morning, American households and businesses are bracing for higher prices for nearly half of all goods imported into the U.S.
From fresh fruits and vegetables from Mexico to maple syrup and vehicles from Canada to consumer electronics and toys from China and lots of stuff in between.
President Trump's far-reaching tariffs mean businesses will pay the U.S. government a higher fee when their shipments enter at the border. Economists warn companies historically pass down those higher costs to consumers.
Americans need to prepare for higher prices.
Within weeks, prices could get more expensive in the grocery aisle, where margins are tight and retailers can't stockpile. 47% of all imported vegetables come from Mexico and Canada, 91% of avocados, and about 87% of tomatoes from Mexico. The auto sector also highly exposed. New car prices could go up $3,000 on average if the tariffs stay in effect. Small businesses like the Penny Ice Creamery in California import key ingredients from Canada.
If we see costs go up because of tariffs, we will have to pass those on to our customers.
Prices are likely to rise on clothes, appliances, and children's toys, with 85% of all toys in the U.S. made in China. The CEO of toy company Basic Fun tells us the price of a popular toy like a Tonka truck could go up from $30 now to $40 by Christmas.
We just don't have the opportunity to just bring this manufacturing back to the United States.
Building materials are also at risk, potentially raising the cost of buying a new home. Now, oil is also trading higher this morning. About 60% of imported crude oil to the U.S. comes from Canada, so that could mean higher prices at the gas pump, up to 20 cents, especially in regions like the Midwest or in the Northeast. Guys,
a lot of impact there, Elizabeth. Thank you. And guys, this really just shows how interconnected our economies are. There are major consequences, ripple effects across the board, especially with small businesses. Those stocks are some of the worst hit this morning. They're down the most. And I heard from a number of small business owners over the weekend. They're really scrambling to figure out what they're going to do. You heard there from Elizabeth, automakers, right. That cost of a car could go up $3,000. That is because most car parts, even when the car is made here in the U.S., the car parts generally come from Mexico and Canada. And on Wall Street, virtually every economist, it's unanimous, they believe that if these tariffs go into effect, if they last a long time, they impact our growth here, they cause inflation. And potentially even a recession if it goes on.
Okay. She basically said, if it goes on long enough, this could cause a recession. Okay. And let's not forget that the stock market isn't looking so great either. Okay. This is all thanks to Trump. And now China is talking about retaliatory measures. Please pay attention. China counters with tariffs on U.S. products and also says that they're going to investigate Google. So China announced retaliatory tariffs on select American imports and an antitrust investigation into Google as of Tuesday, just minutes after a sweeping levy on Chinese products imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump took effect. Now, American tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico were also set up to go into effect Tuesday before Trump agreed to a 30-day pause as the two countries acted to address his concerns about border security and drug trafficking. Trump planned to talk with Chinese President Xi Jinping in the next few days. Honey, Trump's gotten everybody in an uproar. Okay, now this isn't the first round of tit for tat actions between the two countries. China and the U.S. engaged in an escalating trade war in 2018 when Trump repeatedly raised tariffs on Chinese goods, and China responded each time because they got all the smoke for Trump. They're not playing with him. Now, this time, analysts said China is much better prepared, announcing a slew of measures that go beyond tariffs and cut across different sectors of the U.S. economy. Okay, so they're about to stick it to us thanks to Trump. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the government is also more wary of upsetting its own fragile and heavily trade-dependent economy. They say it's aiming for finding measures that maximize the impact and also minimize the risk that the Chinese economy may face. Okay, and this is what Greg Ying, a senior economist at Natixis Corporate and Investment Banking in Hong Kong, said. And at the same time, China is trying to increase its bargaining chips. Now, John Gong, a professor at the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing, called the response a measured one, saying, I don't think they want the trade war escalating. And they see this example from Canada and Mexico, and probably they're hoping for the same thing. Now, China said it would implement a 15% tariff on coal and liquefied natural gas products, as well as a 10% tariff on crude oil, agricultural machinery, and large engine cars imported from the U.S. The tariffs would take effect next Monday. Now, the U.S.'s unilateral tariff increase seriously violates the rules of the World Trade Organization, the State Council Tariff Commission said in a statement. Now, it is not only unhelpful in solving its own problems, but also damages normal economic and trade cooperation between China and the U.S. Trump's just making a mess out of everything. Okay, this is just not what anyone bargained for, I'm sure. But yet, here we are. The impact on U.S. exports may be limited. Though the U.S. is the biggest exporter of liquid natural gas globally, it does not export much to China. In 2023, the U.S. exported 173,000 million cubic feet of LNG to China, and about 2.3% of its total natural gas exports, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Okay, so 173 million. Now, with that all being said, and like stuff, everyone, please be sure to hit the like button. Now they say China imported only about 700,000 cars overall last year, and the leading importers are from Europe and Japan, according to Bill Russo, the founder of the Automobility Limited consultancy in Shanghai. Now, the response from China appears calculated and measured, according to Stephen Dover, chief market strategist and head of the Franklin Templeton Institute, a financial research firm. However, he says that the world is bracing for further impact. Like, what the hell is Trump going to destroy next? Who knows? A risk is that this is the beginning of a tit-for-tat trade war, which could result in lower GDP growth everywhere, higher U.S. inflation, a stronger dollar, and upside pressure on U.S. interest rates. China announced export controls on several elements critical to the production of modern high-tech products. They include tungsten, tellurium, bismuth, molybdenum, and indium, many of which are designated as critical minerals by the U.S. Geological Survey, meaning they are essential to U.S. economy or national security that have supply chains vulnerable to disruption. Now, the export controls are in addition to ones that China placed in December on key elements such as gallium. They say they have a much more developed export control regime, according to Philip Luck, an economist at the Center for Strategic and International Studies and former State Department official. This is what he said at a panel discussion on Monday, saying that we depend on them for a lot of critical minerals, gallium, germanium, graphite, a host of others. They could put some significant harm on our economy. Now, China's State Administration for Market Regulation said on Tuesday that it's investigating Google on suspicion of violating antitrust laws. Now, the announcement did not mention the tariffs, but came just minutes after Trump's 10% tariffs on China were to take effect. See, now Trump's causing problems for other things because now they want to look into Google all of a sudden, talking about anti-trade violations. Okay, but anyway, I mean, I guess it's all fair in love and war because the United States said the same thing about TikTok. But let's continue. Now, it is unclear how the probe will affect Google's operations. The company has long faced complaints from Chinese smartphone makers over its business practices surrounding the Android operating system, according to Gong. Overall, Google has a smaller presence in China than many markets, which is with its search engine blocked like many other Western platforms. Google exited the Chinese market in 2010 after refusing to comply with censorship requests from the Chinese government and following a series of cyber attacks on the company. Google did not immediately respond for comments. Okay, this is all crazy. So anyway, what do you all have to say about all of this? What do you all have to say about all of this foolishness that Trump is causing? Okay, I mean, let the trade wars begin. And here we are. And let's not forget about the federal freeze. Now, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has some things to say about Elon Musk and, you know, how potentially dangerous it could be if he is involved with federal funds access. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Giggle said it's all nefarious. It absolutely is. It absolutely is, and it seems to be getting worse by the day. Please pay attention, okay?
Texas, Jasmine Crockett, she is the vice-ranking member on the House Oversight Committee and now a newly minted member of the DOJ subcommittee. Welcome, my friend. It's good to see you. Let's get to what you'll be doing serving on this committee. It's led by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene to provide oversight to DOJ's efforts. Do you know why they went after access to the federal government's payment system?
I have no idea, but I don't have any positive thoughts when it comes down to it. I appreciate that you played the clip of Jamie Raskin, and as you know, Congressman Raskin asked, why do you need access? I mean, here it is. I'm a wholly, fully elected member of Congress. I don't have that kind of access. So when you start talking about who should have access to literally the system that controls approximately $6 trillion of our dollars, I don't really understand, because the people that worked in those positions could only distribute money per the law. So why is it that the DOJ committee would have to have access? And that's not the place that you go to look for cuts. You look at our budget, which it is Congress that has the power of the purse. You look at our budget, you help the president come up with his proposed budget, and then the House and the Senate will decide what we send to his desk, and he gets to decide whether or not he signs it into law. He should not have access to this. And with people already having angst about Elon Musk and the things that he does as it relates to technology, this is not instilling anything more than another layer of fear, especially since normally when you are going to be in a position like that, you have to go through security clearances. And let me tell you, some people think security clearances are all about whether or not you have a warrant or not. No, they look at whether or not you have some sort of divided interest. They look at whether or not you have good credit. They look at so many other things. And we're talking about someone who's unelected, unvetted, and definitely unconfirmed, that is now literally sitting atop our $6 trillion, and we don't know what it is that he's doing, and we honestly don't know what role he has.
Look, you have well articulated some of the bad thoughts as you described them at the top here. The question is, does Musk's team now have the power to actually disrupt federal payments?
In my opinion, they do, but I honestly don't know. We still don't know really what DOJ is in the first place. I mean, listen, think about it like this, Alex. You know, everyone hates Congress. That's just what it is, right? But as a sitting member of Congress, I mean, I had to give up my ability to practice law. I am prevented from being able to practice law to prevent potentially somebody dropping a load of cash on me and I do something that is nefarious as one of 435. And now we're talking about a guy who literally gets government contracts from the United States and has not had to divest, has not had to, I mean, it is really awful. And I know right now people are asking whether or not their IRS refund checks are going to be affected. We don't know if this is more DEI. Are you going to say if it's somebody that's a person of color, then for some reason, whatever they paid in to the federal government, they're not allowed to get it back? Like, we don't know, but there is no reason for any political appointee, if you can even call him that, to have this kind of access. There's none.
Let me move to the fact that you are also a member of the Judiciary Committee. And since Donald Trump took office, multiple top FBI officials and federal prosecutors who all worked on January 6 cases, they're out of a job. And now the DOJ wants names of those who worked on the Trump or January 6 investigations for possible firing. What do you make of this apparent cleansing?
I mean, you just called it what it is. It's a cleansing. I mean, listen, when Democrats got out there and we said that our democracy was really at risk, people were like, oh, Democrats, you're out there, you're gaslighting. It's not our democracy. Well, he did say he'd be a dictator on day one. Oh, Democrats, it's just Trump. He just talks. Well, let me tell you something. He is doing more than talking. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about the consolidation of power. We talked about how he wanted to be a king. We talked about in a democratic republic, that is not what it is. We have some sort of checks and balances, and he is doing everything that he can to get rid of those checks and balances. The DOJ and the people that he's going after were simply doing their jobs. The problem is that Americans thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
Can you tell me what you're hearing about him from Republicans, from colleagues that will speak to you off the record? Do they have concerns about him? No names, but are you hearing concerns?
I do hear concerns. And let me make sure that I get this timeline together for the American people. Number one, he was sworn in on January 20th. That was on a Monday. We were supposed to be in session from Tuesday to Friday of that week. They canceled our Friday votes. So we have only been in session Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week that he was sworn in. No other days. They decided to take advantage of the fact that Congress was not in and started to unravel and break as many things in our democracy as they could without us being here. But I can tell you that even when we went through the CR vote, there were Republicans that silently or in the background were cheering us on and saying this is wrong. Like, they knew we had negotiated, and all of a sudden this guy who's not elected makes a tweet on Twitter. And so, no, can I tell you that Republicans want to see Elon go down? I can. Now, will they come out publicly and say that? No, because they're concerned about whether or not he'll spend money in their next elections. But there are some. But I need them to understand that this is their time to rise up and do what is right. This is the time to honor the oath that we all took. Listen, today I had to enter into agreement with Rand Paul, something that I never saw on my bingo card. But this is a guy who made it clear this stupid tariff war is just that. It is dumb. And I have to agree, even when it's somebody like Rand Paul, I have to agree that he is absolutely correct.
So just specifically, what is Rand Paul saying that you said, yeah, I'm backing you up on this?
On the tariffs, he said that deciding to put these tariffs on Mexico as well as Canada, I don't think we'll ever scream too loudly about tariffs on China, but that's a whole other issue. But he was saying that it is going to take the cost of things up and that we should just call it what it is. This is a tax. It is a tax on Americans. And his attitude about it was, allegedly, the Republicans don't like to do taxes. So why are we raising taxes on the American people? But that's exactly what it is. It's a tax on us. We are the ones that are going to pay.
Can I just ask you, didn't you hear Donald Trump say many times during the campaign he was going to lower prices for the American people? Won't this have the opposite effect?
Now, I tried to ignore a lot of the things that he said, but yes, he did say that. He did tell that lie. And we know we've got historic prices right now on eggs. For everybody that said they voted because of the price of eggs, they have only gone up. And just saying that you're going to lower something with only offering concepts of a plan was really the giveaway that he did not have a plan to help you lower the cost of food. Instead, as we are seeing these raids that are taking place, we know that we've heard from farmers that people aren't showing up to work. And the reality is that every single city that I've campaigned in, I would ask people, tell me how many of you plan on going into farming or sending your kids into farming. So you explain to me how that food is going to make it to the grocery store if there's no one that is actually willing to go out and work the fields. And now let's talk about the foods that we get out of Mexico, whether it's our avocados, whether it's our strawberries, the things that we import. Let's talk about what that's going to look like when Mexico says, oh, okay, well, they put a tariff on it. All that's being passed on to us. And then when it comes to people, especially in my state of Texas, where we are one of the largest traders in the world, not just the United States, but in the world, Texas is our own economy. And now our biggest trade partner, Mexico, is saying, you know what, we're going to slap these tariffs on. What does that mean? Those businesses that are doing trade are now going to be hit because people in Mexico may not be buying those items because now they are going to be too expensive.
It's always sobering to talk with you, I have to say, but you also managed to bring a smile to my face with your energy and personality. So thanks. Got to say thanks for that as well. Representative Jasmine Crockett. We'll see you again soon.
All right, so y'all heard it. This is all Trump's doing. Please pay attention. Lola says, Queen, missing you, Loyal Royal, listing though busy. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you for tuning in and thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. And also, let me shout out Andrea tuning in from the hospital. Beloved, I hope that you have a speedy recovery. Okay, peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, so anyway, honey, this is all crazy. This is all what Trump is up here doing. And now they're talking about Medicare. So let's get into that. Trump handed opportunity to save Medicare after Biden administration final blow to seniors, according to expert. So let's talk about this because if they're expecting Trump to save Medicare, I don't know how that's going to turn out. President Donald Trump was handed the opportunity to save Medicare after Biden's administration rolled out its final Medicare Advantage proposal early in January that experts say underfunds the insurance plan after already facing rate cuts in previous years, saying this is Trump's opportunity to save Medicare. Former Republican New York Representative Anne Marie Burkle, who is also a former nurse and was a chairwoman for the Consumer Product Safety Commission until 2019. Now, saying that Medicare Advantage is Medicare for 34 million Americans who choose it. Those seniors are experiencing disruption with their health care as a result of 2 years of cuts. If Trump ensures Medicaid gets funded in line with projected medical cost trends in 2026, he'll be fixing Joe Biden's mistake and giving seniors the health care they deserve right before the GOP's midterm elections, let's say. That's a big if, okay? Please pay attention. Now, Medicare Advantage plans are private health insurance plans that contract with Medicare and are used by roughly 34 million Americans. Now, the program mostly enrolls adults older than the age of 65, but also offers benefits to people of all ages with disabilities. Traditional Medicare, conversely, is a federal health insurance program for adults older than the age of 65, as well as younger individuals with disabilities. Now, the Biden administration previously had made cuts to Medicare Advantage rates, including in April of 2024, when experts say enrollees would face an additional $33 a month for out-of-pocket costs or $396 per year due to the cuts. Critics at the time said the cuts would be especially devastating to seniors living on fixed incomes who are already coping with ongoing inflation issues. Now, roughly 2 weeks before leaving office, the Biden administration rolled out its final regulation affecting Medicare Advantage, which did not outright cut rates as it did for 2024 and 2025, but increased the average benchmark payment to Medicare Advantage plans by 2.2%. Now, the proposal, however, seemingly works as another cut and underfunds Medicare Advantage because the proposed rates are still lower than the current rate of inflation, according to Berkel, okay, with the Consumer Price Index showing a 12-month inflation rate of 2.7%. Now, the proposal also came on the heels of the Biden administration finalizing a 1.12% cut for fiscal year 2024 and a 0.16 cut for the fiscal year of 2025. Now, let's hear what the expert has to say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Response to human necessity and desire, as if led by an invisible hand to promote an end which was no part of the.
Hello, America. I'm Mark Levin, and this is Life, Liberty, and Levin Sunday. Thanks for being here at this later hour. We have two great guests this evening, Elise Stefanik and General Keith Kellogg, and we'll get to them in a moment. But before we do, this show is a public service. It's a public service to educate somebody who is utterly illiterate when it comes to economics. And that would be Vice President Kamala Harris, who seeks to be President of the United States. Now, we know she's utterly illiterate when it comes to economics because we've heard what she's said and we've seen what she's done. So I've taken the liberty of pulling a 6th grade economics test off of the internet. We don't have time to do it the entire show, but just for a few minutes, I want to provide our vice president, who seeks to be president, who wants to run the economy.
Okay, first of all, he sounds crazy. But second of all, that has to be old because he's talking about Kamala in past tense, calling her the VP. Okay, but this article came out today, so not sure about all of that. But anyway, listen, if it's up to Trump to save Medicare, like I said, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I have no idea how that's going to turn out. Okay. Everybody just keep your fingers crossed and remember to follow your lifelines. You know, get your non-perishable food items, your water every time you go to the grocery store. Okay. And all the supplies and things that you need that I've been telling you about since 2020, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen with Trump in office. Okay. You have no idea. Okay. Expect the power grid to go out, cyber attacks, anything crazy that could happen likely will. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about T.I. and Tiny. T.I. and Tiny have been awarded $53 million and punitive damages after the MGA lawsuit over OMG Girls dolls. Okay. Now, remember, that was the group that Tiny started with her daughter, Zonique, I believe is her name, and several other young ladies. And so anyway, this company made some dolls. Just snatched up, you know, their whole idea and made some dolls without permission or consent. So rapper T.I. and his wife, Tamika Tiny Harris, are set to receive over $53 million in punitive damages after a federal judge reinstated the award in their ongoing lawsuit against MGA Entertainment. Now, the case revolves around the Harris family's claim that MGA copied their OMG Girls singing group to create 7 dolls. On Monday, U.S. District Court Judge James Selna ruled to uphold the judge's September 23rd verdict, which included $17.8 million in profits from the dolls and an additional $53 million in punitive damages. This decision followed a January 6th hearing where both sides presented their arguments. Now, initially, Selna had suggested he might eliminate the punitive damages, citing insufficient evidence to justify such a large sum. However, after reconsideration, he determined that the jury's verdict should stand, as both parties had agreed to a jury trial. Selna noted that MGA did not object to the jury deciding on punitive damages, which further supported his decision to reinstate the full award. Now, in addition, Selna sided with the Harrises regarding the $17.8 million profit award, rejecting MGA's argument that overhead costs should reduce the amount. MGA had proposed a lower figure of $9 million, but the judge ruled that the company failed to provide enough evidence to support this claim. Tamika Harris expressed her joy following the ruling, referring to the case as the third time's a charm. This legal victory comes after a prior mistrial and an earlier MGA win, and it marks a significant win for the Harris family in their battle with MGA Entertainment. Okay, I mean, it's a nerve for me that people think they can just snatch up somebody else's idea and then take the credit for it and then get paid for it at the same time. And they're not supposed to have any consequences. Okay, please make that make sense. Please make that make sense. Oh, you're welcome, Andrea Beloved. Okay, and so that all been said, I'm about to conclude this broadcast, but you all, you need to go ahead and buckle up because this is about to be a bumpy ride. And has anyone heard anything about Irv Gotti? Because Storm Monroe was on live about 2 or 3 this morning. I just happened to be up. And he was saying that Irv Gotti had a very serious stroke and that he was in a vegetative state. I haven't been able to find anything to substantiate that. But did anybody else hear anything about that? One's in the chat if you have. Because this is what Storm Monroe reported. Okay, I don't know if this is valid information or not. Because like I said, I can't find anything on it in the news. And he pretty much said the family is saying their goodbyes. There's a couple of other places that reported it, but they all reported it based off of Storm Monroe's video from the looks of it. Hold on. It looks like there's a TikTok. Let me see what this is. Yeah, that's Storm Monroe on the TikTok. Hold on. I mean, prayers for Irv Gotti if this is true. I hope it isn't. And didn't he have a stroke? Irv Gotti actually had a stroke sometime last year. Okay, so now reporting, Storm is reporting that he had another stroke. So, I don't know. I hope he's not in a vegetative state, as Storm has said. This is all very sad if true. Okay, so anyway, that's the news for now. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. We will be live on the spiritual channel later on today, probably around 6 p.m. Okay, so make sure you have your notifications on. And with that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, much want a mighty you thugs. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got